With new AI products being released seemingly every day, including Apple's new iPhone with the Apple Intelligence, it sometimes seems as though the whole world is moving in this direction. A lot of main businesses are trying to figure out how to integrate AI into their business models, and it's not an easy question for a lot of them. With us here on 207 today is our tech guy, Rich Brooks from Flyte New Media, to address some of these questions. So, OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, Apple, all the big players are releasing these products with great regularity. But here's an interesting question, Rich. Is there really consumer demand for all of this new AI stuff that's coming out?
That is a great question, because there was just a survey that was done that actually showed that consumers were less likely to buy products that were labeled as AI. And another study that came out about the same time that showed only 30% of consumers trusted generative AI, which is the word to use to describe tools like Claude or ChatGPT. So no, I don't think consumers are begging for this technology.
All right, so how about main businesses, a lot of which are small? Does this mean that they should hold off on incorporating AI into their businesses?
I don't think that's the takeaway. Just because consumers say they don't need an AI-powered toaster oven does not mean that businesses can't reap benefits from AI, and they don't always have to be consumer-focused. So for example, you might use AI to improve your operations or to get better reporting. I use AI almost every day during meetings to take notes and then give me a list of to-dos to follow up. And then also, whether you're a boss or whether you're an employee, you can create these digital doppelgangers that can help you generate new ideas or tackle work-related tasks.
All right, what is a digital doppelganger?
Okay, so a digital doppelganger is an AI-powered version of yourself that's trained to do a specific task. So let's say that your job is writing grant proposals, right? So you could feed 3 examples of your recent successful grant proposals into AI, and then give it the details for a new grant you're going after, and it can write that first draft with all the details in your voice, which then you can edit and polish to your heart's desire. And you can also do the same thing with presentations and writing articles and social media posts and even email, and potentially saving you hundreds of hours a year.
All right, obviously there are plus or minuses. What pluses and minuses? What do you see as the biggest challenges, perhaps, for businesses when it comes to using AI?
Yeah, I think that a lot of business owners and decision makers, and myself included, suffer from shiny object syndrome, where we always want the latest and the greatest, and these days we just want to throw AI at everything. And I was telling you before the show, I actually just got back from an AI conference, and one of the speakers, this brilliant business leader by the name of Katie Robert, was sharing examples of places where companies had instituted AI to solve problems that nobody had. The employees weren't complaining, the workers weren't complaining, but they're like, we can save so much money, everybody will be happy. They made the problems worse. So my recommendation, if you are thinking about this, is first, just sit down and figure out what are the problems, the hiccups, the hurdles for your company, and then prioritize them. And then, is AI part of the solution for that? And that's probably the best way to approach adding AI to the mix.
All right. Something that is coming up is the 10th annual Agents of Change Digital Marketing Conference. This is your baby. It's happening October 9 and 10 in Portland and online. And will AI be one of the topics that is addressed?
Of course it will be, because I love this topic. We've got presenters coming in who are going to be talking about how to implement AI into your business, how to create AI chatbots for sales. Almost every session will probably touch on AI a little, and we even have a half-day workshop on how to implement AI in your business on that Thursday the 10th. That one might be close to selling out, but even if you don't get into that, there's so much good AI content. If you're trying to figure out how, or even if you should be implementing AI into your marketing, you'll definitely get a lot from this year's conference.
Great questions, if and how.
Yes.
Again, 9th and 10th in Portland and online, the Agents of Change Conference. Got more information about that on our website. Check it out. Rich, thank you as always. Again, you'll find the link with the info on the conference and about Flyte New Media. It's all in the 207 section of our app or website. Stick around. We will be back right after this.